Hello, second graders. I'm Ms. Beeman, and today I'm going to be talking about the place values in three-digit numbers. As we take a quick look at the Iowa Core Math Standard, it talks about how three digits in a three-digit number represent different amounts of hundreds, tens, and ones. If we look at the number 706, with the example that they give us, it talks about how it has 7 hundreds, 0 tens, and 6 ones. We'll get into that here in a minute on why that is. There's also special cases like when 100 can be thought of as a bundle of 10 tens, and how the numbers 100 through 900, counting by hundreds, refer to the number 1 through 9 groups of 100. Our learning goal for today is to have students understand the concept of the different place values in three-digit numbers. They are going to understand that the first digit will represent groups of 1, the second will represent groups of 10, and the third will represent groups of 100. We are going to do this through the ideas of visuals or manipulatives to understand the different place values further. To start out today, we are going to look at the number 385. We know that we can break that number down into a 3, an 8, and a 5, but what do those numbers mean? Right here on the left, it shows that the 3 represents 300, the 8 represents 80, and the 5 represents 5. But why? The first digit represents groups of 1, the second digit represents groups of 10, and the third represents groups of 100. So we can see here that there are 3 groups of 100, there are 8 groups of 10, and there are 5 groups of 1. So 3 groups of 100 makes it 300 when you add 100 3 times. There are 8 groups of 10, which make that number 80 when you add 8 10 times or take 8 times 10. There are 5 groups of 1, so that makes that 5 when you add 5 one time or you take 1 times 5. So then we add all these together and we get 385. So here we can see that there are 3 groups of 100, 8 groups of 10, and 5 groups of 1. As we jump in here with the idea of manipulatives within three-digit numbers, let's get the background knowledge of it first. So right here, this is a flat equaling 100 units. This is 1 long equaling 10 units. And this is 1 unit, just equaling 1 unit. If we highlight the flat here, knowing that it has 100 units, we can also notice that there are, if we do these lines here, we know that there are 10 longs in here. So that'd be 10 groups of 10, equaling 100. If we do the lines the other way, we can see that we are just making, pretend that they're all the same size, but we are just making 100 of the single units. If we were to practice here and see what number that this picture is showing us, we can say we have 100 units, we have 10 units, and we have 1 unit, equaling 111. So here we can see we have 1 group of 100, 1 group of 10, and 1 group of 1. Let's see another example here. So as we just discussed, we know that 1 square equals 100 units, and it's known as a flat. So let's count how many flats we have here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I'm going to put 100 right here, since 1 flat equals groups of 100, and we have 7 groups. Now, we're going to highlight the longs and count how many we have. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we know that 1 long equals 10 units. And we know that we have 5 groups of 10. Now we're going to highlight the single. Now we just have 1. So we know that 1 unit equals 1, and we have 1 group of 1. So now we know that 7 groups of 100 equals 700. We know that 5 groups of 10 equals 50. We know that 1 group of 1 equals 1. So we'll add all these together, and we can tell that we have 1 group of 1. We can tell that we have 5 groups of 10, and we can tell that we have 7 groups of 100. As we dive here into the last example, we notice that there is just one flat. So we're going to put that 100 units down here in one group, since there's just one group of a flat, or 100 units. We know that there's no tens, so we're going to still put the 10 down there, but that there's 0 groups. And then we notice that there's all these ones right here. So we're going to count these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we know that 1 unit is equal to 1, and we know that we have 8 groups of those. So over here, we're going to add 100 plus 0 plus 8, representing the groups of 100, 10s, and 1s. And when we add those together, we get 108. Now, if we dive into this, we can tell that we have 8 groups of 1. We can tell that we have 0 groups of 10, because there's no groups of 10. And we can tell that there's 1 group of 100. Here we have reached the end of our lesson, but just remember, you can always draw out these manipulatives or actually use manipulatives to understand the 3-digit place value in a 3-digit number.